original plan was to set off on a big adventure, and we certainly ended up doing that.
This trip is Tim and I's longest trip of 2015. Longest both in terms of distance we're traveling and also time away. We've arrived at the East Gate in Algonquin Park. We just picked up our permits for our camping trip. We are doing 6 days, a total of 5 nights. 3 nights at Madawaska Lake, and then we're going to do 2 nights at Little Hay Lake.
And now we're heading down the back roads to find our portage route to the river we want to get to. Without getting lost, no problem.
We didn't so much get lost as have to turn around because we got stuck. This big hill has stopped us. There's no way my car's getting up that hill. It's all loose rock. We're just digging into it, digging a trench. The engine stinks from trying to get up that hill. So we're gonna have to turn around, and we think that there may be another way around. We can only hope, otherwise we're gonna be portaging a heck of a long way.
It's funny because when we get down these back roads and you're looking at the map and you see where the road goes and you think, okay, when the road splits, you go to the right, which is all fine and good, but then there are these logging roads that aren't on the map. So we took the fork to the right, and that's exactly what we wanted, but it wasn't the one that was marked on the map. It was a completely different road.
But eventually we found the beginning of the portage route. The portage was quite long, just over 1 kilometer. So we had to do that 3 times, once taking all the gear, going back, then picking up the canoe and bringing that in. Then we began our trek on the river. A beautiful river. It was all marshy, and there's flowers and reeds and stuff. It was beautiful but windy. So to move 1 kilometer, you probably did about 3 or 4 kilometers just winding around. Then there was the Beaver dams. We had to portage around at least 5 beaver dams, plus an old bridge that somebody had built across the river. One of the beaver dams was really large, and that was a bit of a challenge as well.
Oh, that was a good one. Now comes the hard part. 1, 2, 3. Almost there. 1, 2, 3. Again, I think you get in it, because we're at the back here. And then turn it around. Holy hell. Whew. Good job.
Then we hit the lake in extreme wind. We had whitecaps, and we had to canoe into this all the way down the end of the lake.
The wind is howling, so if you don't hear it, that's not surprising. But even in the calm parts, through the little wee channels, the wind was just whipping right against us. So we were moving so slow. So it was probably a 3-hour paddle just to get here.
That was just ridiculous. The wind was against us. There was whitecaps out there. I am soaked. I had to take off my socks. They were completely soaked. My boots are now soaked on the inside. And we're still not at the campsite that we want.
And this is not a great spot, so this is not where we're gonna stay. But yeah, that was that was crazy. The waves were pretty high, and we're gonna have to push on. So far, the sights themselves are not all that good.
We get sun in the evening, but it's on a hill. It's straight up and down. It's hard to find a level spot. There's dense brush behind us, so there's nowhere to really sit out and enjoy it. So we might check out one of the other sites on the north side of the lake today.
We decided to pack up, and I got the binoculars out and I could see on the other side it looked like a nice open site, so we headed over there. And a much better spot. You're out in the sun. It's much more fun to be around.
The north side site was much better. We had a flat area by the that you could pull up in with rock, and then there was grass. I put my tent by the in the grassy area. Tim went off into the bush a little bit and put his tent up. The first day there was nice. It was sunny. It was warm.
I think my exact words were, how ticked off would we be if we went from our other site to here and we had no grill? Because there were 4 grills over there and we didn't have anything over here. Guess what? No grills. Nothing. Nada.
So I am back at our first campsite. It pays to check your site before you leave, because we left our throw bag here, which we use to hang our food. So we had to come all the way back this morning to get it. Also, at our other site, we don't have a grill. So while I'm here, I'm going to take one of the grills that are lying around the fire pit here. So that's the throw bag. Got that. Now head up and get the grill, and get back in the canoe and head back to our site that we're on now and have breakfast. Looks like Tim's trying to take off and leave without me.
cottontail fluff. Just puff it up. That should really catch a good spark. Nice and fluffy.
The third night, we had thunderstorms.
We got lucky right up until late afternoon. Then the rain started, and we had some serious thunderstorms coming through. You know, we probably went to bed just around dark because once the rain hits, it's pretty hard. But that's kind of fun to be sitting in a tent and thunderstorms all around you.
That would have been fine, except once the thunderstorm stopped, we had just rain, continuous rain throughout the night and into the morning. I was completely soaked. My tent was soaked inside and out. We had to pack up wet tents and canoe back along Madawaska Lake, back through Madawaska River.
That was a trek. That's definitely not for the faint of heart. I mean, it was, I don't know, 7 or 8K canoe by the time we get back through all the twisty, windy little channels of that river, and it just gets narrower and narrower, and you got all those beaver dam after beaver dam to keep portaging around. And you know, then you get to the end and you have to portage everything through the bush and back to where the car is, go portage back to get the rest of the gear in the canoe and come back. And then we went to the next lake, portaged everything again. That was supposed to be our home lake for the next 2 nights, and as it turns out, the water levels were just way too low. We were just hitting rocks, getting over dams, and then all of a sudden the river just dried up. It was just gone. There was nothing there but rocks and mud everywhere. So we had no choice but to turn around and head back. And there's one other lake that's in the area, so we decided we're just gonna head over there and portage into that one. And probably about 7 o'clock at night by the time we finally made it into that one. And
we went over to Cauliflower Lake and took a portage into that, and are now set up. As you can see, everything drying from getting wet last night, and this is where we're going to be for the next 2 nights.
One of the drawbacks to not getting the lake that we wanted, though, because that one was the best fishing lake I know, and I can catch fish by the dozens there, and I always catch something to have for breakfast and dinner. So I didn't bring much extra food because I knew we were going to that lake and I knew it was going to be lots of fish. Well, as it turns out, we never made it there, so now we're at this lake, which is a trout lake, and in the middle of summer you need special equipment to get down deep where the fish are. So yeah, the food isn't so good right now. Just having some, bagels and rice.
Some campsites are rather isolated, not in terms of how far they are away from people, but they're surrounded by dense brush, so you can't really do much exploring. This site is cool. There's paths all over the place. It's fairly open, and there's a lot of exploring that I can do, so I'm going to be hiking all around here and checking things out. I really love these big trees. See that big tree right back there, and there's another one over there. They're really, really cool.
So today, looking forward to today, I'm just gonna relax, sit by the lake, do some reading, do some writing, do some puzzles, and just relax and enjoy the last day. This will be a fun day.
Oh boy, I'm excited. Look what I found.
So for those wondering about bathroom facilities when you're out in the backcountry, not to worry. Nice box for you to use.
Well, we had a rain shower come through right before dark. That was the coolest, rainbow I've ever seen. It came in front of the trees. So we saw it in front of the trees. That was really cool. The wind has died down, sun is setting. It's our last night. This is great.